Hello and welcome back to Spec Esports. You join us for round 5 of the RS1 series on PlayStation. I am your usual commentator, Plevs, aka Matt. Thanks for joining me. Hope you're well. I hope you did well in your races if you just had a race. So yeah, let's get straight into it. The qualifying session's already started, so I'll just whip through some intro stuff and then we'll join qualifying session really quickly. So quickly we'll have a look at the Singapore track map. Beautiful Marina Bay circuit, of course. One of the probably the most challenging Grand Prix on the calendar, both in real life F1 and the game as well. 23 corners, street circuit, walls are close, difficult to overtake. It's got all the challenges. Also high percentage chance of rain. Different strategies as well you can do. So yeah, really lots of drama at Singapore usually. So we'll take a look at last week's race results at Belgium Grand Prix, and we had VSR Domi take his third victory in a row for Haas, and then we had a double Renault podium with WSO Ferreira and MMT Louis VLT on the podium for Renault. So those guys, nice little points haul for Renault team there. Yeah, so let's see if they can repeat it today. So we do have a fair few drivers missing, unfortunately. We'll go straight to our qualifying session. And as you can see, I'm well prepared for this. Get our track map, lap data, telemetry. Let's see if there's any weather. It doesn't look like it. Looks like it's clear. So a couple of new reserve drivers on the grid this evening. So we have GeForce Ford, who's actually provisional pole at the moment with 33 dead. He's joined the series as a reserve driver, full-time Pacific Series driver on Tuesday, and he actually won the race at Singapore on Tuesday. So one of his good tracks. So a good chance for a nice debut here for GeForce Ford. We have Cometa Lars and Timon, the AlphaTauri pair. And Essio Ryan on the grid for the first time as well. He is racing for Racing Point today, but he might get a full-time seat. I think probably won't be at Racing Point, but racing for Racing Point this evening. We have Alex Pato in the session. Not sure if he's racing. Then we have Ferrari driver Dario, Dario, who had a 5-second penalty removed from Canada, and I will revisit that a little bit later because I want to show the replay of that because it was very tight. But he had a 5-second penalty removed, which means he didn't finish P5. He finished P2 actually, so he's actually second in the championship. And then we have Domi, who's just gone purple in the second sector. We just follow on board the rest of this lap. Looks like he's on a fly. We'll go on board with him. And we've got Asicom in the Red Bull, and Rage, a fill-in driver as well from RS2's on the grid. WSO Ferreira always. Domi cuts quite a bit there, and maybe on purpose even, just to set a banker. Yeah, WSO Ferreira for Renault and GeForce Crichton for Mercedes. Will and Lando Norris, who I'm not sure who that is. I'm not quite sure who is driving as Lando Norris. Let's see. But Ford on pole position at the moment. Domi going for another run. Yes, he is. And he's purple in sector 1. Let me know in the comments what you think, who you think is going to get pole at Singapore. Domi's going for it on the soft. I think most drivers will probably go for it on the soft. Just to get that track position is so crucial at Singapore. Oh, and he cuts again there, so a scruffy couple of laps for our championship leader, Domi. See if we can pick up Brighton. Coming through the same section, see if he keeps the edge. That's a better line through there. Over that little bump. Very close to the wall there, across the Anderson Bridge, through the hairpin. Doesn't elect a short shift there, revs out the lower gears. Very interesting. Usually in traction zones like that, we get to just dull the torque by short shifting. And on the softs as well, coming into final part of the track. Using all the track there on the exit under the Anderson Bridge. Oh, and he slid out. This is going to be ruin his lap, unfortunately. And that is so easy to do. And I know that because I did exactly the same thing in my first qualifying lap in RS2. I was on what would have been provisional pole position as well, and binned it at that exact corner. Your tyres are just so hot by that point in the race. And we have VSR Duncan in the lobby. I'm not quite sure seen him before, but more drivers the better. VSR Duncan, formerly known as VSR Aero, I believe. So he's going by his first name now. He's a reserve driver. So joining up, Lars has invalidated that. So towards 33.0, still the time to beat. Deep into this qualifying session, go and aces in as well. So quite a few drivers joining now. It's good to see. No one on a lap at the moment. I'm actually Lars. No, Lars is invalidated. So yeah, we'll just wait for someone. While these guys are, while we're waiting for them to do a lap. Actually, I usually show the standings between qualifying and the race. I'll stick with that so no one misses it. And then we've got something to do in the loading screen as well. So I won't skip ahead. We'll just wait for someone to start the lap. Not quite sure what happened to Alex, whether he's actually racing or he was joining the lobby accidentally. Board's invalidated again. Oh no, is he going to go for another lap here or is he going into pits? Into the pits. It's only 4 minutes 40 left in this session, so a lot of drivers will be waiting until the very last second. And actually, Ace is out on track on the mediums. Just won the RS2 race, so good to see him on the grid. This is just on his out lap. Quite a few times. He only got 4 times on the board so far, which is kind of crazy. And one of those is a 53 in dry conditions. So really only 3 times on the board. I wonder if drivers will be just doing their last run on mediums. No one really wants to go on the softs. And maybe that's to do with the weather. If there's some rain about in the race, yeah, it's probably better to err on the side of caution and start on a harder tyre if you can, because the softs, of course, only pretty much made of chewing gum at Singapore, and we'll go on board with Ace. Alfa Romeo looking sexy in under the lights of the Marina Bay circuit there. Cuts through turn 1, nice. Turn 2, lots of curb there. Very nice few corners up to this tricky turn 5. Gets through there very nicely. up to the first sector split. What is it, a 26-1? Too bad for the medium tyres. It's a little bit oversteer there, I think. Got a little bit of lag as well, unfortunately, but... Ooh, he just about kept it out of the wall there. He was very late getting on the gas out of the exit there. Costing time and down that little straight. I think when you're doing a hot lap on the medium tyres, you're so used to the grip level of the softs that, especially on exit, you kind of have to check up sometimes because the mediums just don't have the same grip level. Of course, if you are comfortable on the medium and you compensate for that, you can still do relatively quick lap times like a low 33 if you do have that kind of pace, but very, very difficult. And Ace is going to put in a decent lap here. And he's got time to go again as well. Comes through the final corner. Turns 22 and 23, and he actually goes 4 passes. He's not going to go again. He's okay with that. So, there we go. And Dommy, he's out on mediums. He looks like he started a lap, but he's backed out of that. Dario's done the same thing. Lars is going for it. Now, both AlphaTauris had absolutely rotten luck last race at Belgium. They were both DNF'd before Eau Rouge, so didn't even make it 3 corners into the Grand Prix, which was a real shame because Lars and Timon are 2 of the quickest guys on the grid, and hopefully it was just a bad round for AlphaTauri and they can bounce back strong at Singapore tonight. He's actually gone purple as Lars in the second sector. That might be just a glitch that usually pops up. See what there's Will getting out of the way. There's only 19 seconds left, so Will better actually hurry up and try and get across the line. As there's a Ferrari there, that must be Dario. Duncan's done the time. No, he's retired, so he's going to start from the back. So Lars actually pulls a 33.8 out on mediums. This is a really good lap. We're right on board now with Dario. See what he can do on the medium tyre. Inch perfect there through turn 7, that is. Turn 8. Turn 9, very tricky corner. Look at all that runoff on the entry on the right hand side. Timon's retired. He's gone P3 with a 33.3. Not quite sure what tyres they know. And Dario's actually invalidated. He'll be very upset with that because his time on the board is a 33.7. I'm not quite sure what tyres he's done on that. Ferreira's finished. He's gone P7 on medium. Dommy. Crichton, that was second with the 33.2. Dommy's invalidated his last run as well. So a lot of guys. I wonder what tyre they'll be starting on. Ryan's finished. Asicom's still on a lap. See what he can do. Coming through the final corner. Takes it inch perfect across the line. Only good enough for P9, but that's on the medium tyre, so not bad. Will, he's invalidated as well, but that'll be it for qualifying. Everyone should be finished, although, yeah, Dommy and Lars, let's see what they best is. I think you go best because you the tyre they did their best time on, and yeah, as you can see there, Ford with a 32.6 for pole position. Well done to him. That's on the soft tyres compared to the rest of the field. There we go. So pole position for the new driver. I believe he did 32.6 on Tuesday as well. So man, he's absolutely rapping around here. LRB 05 has joined as well. So that's another driver on the grid, which is great. I know him from PSGL. We're racing the same PSGL league there, F5. So he's a really good driver. So good to have him on the grid. And that is our short qualifying over. G-Force Ford takes pole position on the soft tyre. Must be noted, as you can see, with 32.6. G-Force Crichton, his teammate for this evening, Mercedes, 33.2. So effective pole position for the medium runners. Domi, Tim and Dario, Lars, Ferreira, Ace, Asicom and Ryan rounding out the top 10. Now Ryan, interesting. Does Ryan have to start on those Inter tyres because he was top 10? Wow, this is going to be actually a bit crazy if he does. I don't think I've ever seen someone in this position. Anyway, we'll have a look at the standings while we're waiting for the drivers to choose their strategy and whatnot. So here we are after 4 rounds. You can see there VSR Domi with a pretty decent lead of 30 points. That's more than a race win, 25 points for a race win. So he's got a race in hand essentially already after 4 rounds, which is very, very nice position to be in. He's won the last 3 races. And as I said, Dario's P2 now at Canada, so he's second in the championship. And then we have SHZ Midnight, CRG and Mathis, who's missing today. I think Midnight's missing today as well. So both Alfa Romeo's off the grid, and then we have Ferreira, Will, Crichton, Louis, Tim and Lars, easy top 10. But yeah, plenty of points up for grabs. We'll have a look at the constructors as well very quickly. So Haas on top, Domi and I think it's Joey, another Haas who's not on the grid either. So 99 points for Haas, and followed closely by Alfa Romeo 92, and then fair way back is Renault, Ferrari, and it gets pretty close in the midfield, and Williams rounding out. No Williams drivers on the grid tonight or today, so that's a bit disappointing. I wonder where those guys are. But anyway, we'll go back to our main screen here, and we'll have a look at fitted tyre. So Ryan's actually on the hards, so he doesn't have to start on the inter, which is good news for him. We'll get telemetry, full track map. Hey mate, what I did want to show before we get stuck into the race here is a replay of our last replay of what happened at Canada. So let's see if I can get this up for you guys. And this is the final lap of the Grand Prix as well. It's flown by. Yellow flag. Here we go. So. Okay. Not sure why, but anyway. And Dario is going to have to defend here from Mathis. Okay. We're going to be passed into the hairpin. He does send it left room. Leaves room on exit. There you go, can see this is actually the pass to the lead at the end of the Canadian Grand Prix, and it was Mathis getting past Dario there, but Mathis had penalties and Domi didn't. Dario had a 5-second penalty, but I didn't know at the time that that was likely to be removed, and you can see there Domi pull out behind Dario, and look at them cross the line, how tight that was. That was actually for the race win in the end, and only a 10th between them, so that was very, very close between those guys. Anyway, we'll go back to our, don't want to miss the start of the race, as the drivers are getting ready. Oh, that's not the right button. Here we go. We get ready for the start of the Singapore Grand Prix. Drivers are on the grid, ready to go. We will have lights shortly, as you predicted, pit stops. And the lights are on now. 4 red lights, 5 red lights for the Singapore Grand Prix. And it's lights out in Marina Bay. G-Force Ford leads them away. Crichton down the inside, and there's contact there between, that was an AlphaTauri and a Ferrari. Nearly ended in disaster with the Ferrari catching the spin, but those softs, look at the advantage that G-Force Ford has with those soft tyres, and it looks like they've all managed to get through cleanly, which is really good. 14 drivers on the grid, which is great to see. And that was Domi already having a look on Crichton down the inside, but Mercedes driver holds his line, so it's Mercedes 1-2 at the moment. And Ford's got to check out here. He's got to use these soft tyres while they've still got some grip, so don't last very long at all. They're very not very durable around Singapore. It is the softest compound that they use here. Now, have a look down the field a little bit, see if there's any action, and the AlphaTauris are going line astern, and that's Ferreira coming under attack there from Assacom, and Ace not far behind as well. Joey, and then we have Duncan, Will, Alex, and Rage rounding out the grid there, but they've all got through cleaning, which is really good to see. And there we go, we've got Duncan, or Will up on Duncan, I think, yeah, so Will went through on Duncan. Have a look at our so you can see their position changes. Will's actually had a really good start. There we go, you can see the tyres are all on, so just G-Force Ford on the soft tyre. Then we have second place, Brighton, all the way down to 9th, Ace on the mediums. Then we have Ryan to Rage on the hard, so a bit of a Noah's Ark in terms of tyres there, not mixed up at all. We've got soft, mediums, and then hards, so there should be some gaps pulled. Very interesting to see what G-Force Ford does, whether he goes soft, hard, or whether he opts for a soft, medium strategy. It just came up on the screen there, but those are his 2 options for this one. Nice and clean so far, which is good to see. Ferreira's actually dropped some time to Lars. I wonder if he's got damage on the Renault. Not that I can see. Oh, maybe a little bit on the left-hand side, actually. Just try and see the left-hand side. Oh, it looks okay. It's hard to tell with that Renault. The front wing's very hard to work out what's going on there. But he's out of DRS, 1.3 seconds behind Lars. Assacom right on the end. Then we have Joey, Will, Duncan, Alex, 1.1 seconds behind Duncan. And Rage. So there's the RS2 drivers are doing all right, but Crichton sticking with Ford. So Ford unable to use the first couple of laps, and actually Crichton sticking in the fast lap of the Grand Prix on that second lap there. And DRS enabled this lap, so yeah, we're going to see some overtaking, I think. Thanks for joining us. If you are watching the stream, let us know in the chat. I do have the chat up on my other screen, so I can see it. So chuck your predictions in, or yeah, feel free to chat as well. G-Force Ford leads the Singapore Grand Prix so far. Get rid of the tyres. No penalties as yet, which is good to see. No stops as well. There's position changes. So Will up 3 is the biggest one, and he passed Duncan, Pato, and Rage. Ascom up 1, Ace down 1, Dario up 1, Timon down 1. So yeah, I'll get the tyres and whatnot back up later in the race once people have made pit stops, but it's pretty straight. forward for now. And the Mercedes are looking pretty good. Obviously, the guys on mediums will probably be going for a one-stop unless there's some weather in the Grand Prix. Dario now with the fastest lap, so yeah, this pack very pacey at the moment. Of course, Crichton, is he going to make a move on his teammate? Will his teammate allow him? Let's right on board. Yeah, it's going to go on the inside. Is Domi going to have a look? No, Domi's too far away, but that looks like a pretty choreographed move there from the Mercedes drivers. GeForce Ford being a reserve driver doesn't really have to play nice with Crichton if he doesn't want to. He's still at poor position, of course, but he's got the move done anyway. See if Domi now has got the pace to get past Ford as well. He'll need Crichton to oh, big lock up there from Domi. Very nearly touching the back of GeForce Ford, and that would have been some wind damage, you would think, and possibly even spun GeForce Ford. But I was just about to say, Domi will need Crichton to gap GeForce Ford, and that's exactly what he's done. He's 1 second ahead now already, which means Ford is out of DRS. Is he going to pit? No, he doesn't. So Ford keeps going. Crichton with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 39.0, so he's pushed to get out of that DRS. He wants to gap them. We're going to have to ride on board with Domi here, because this probably likely is going to be an overtake. He's got plenty of DRS to use, and of course DRS. Ford looks like it's going to go defensive. Side by side. Defends his position well, does Ford. Well done. That's going to frustrate Domi, because oh, he's going to have another look, is he? Oh, two getting really close. But that was really good defensive driving from GeForce Ford, and that's going to help his teammate a lot if he can keep the rest of the guys behind him for another lap. He does have a bit of a train there back to Ferreira. I'm surprised Ferreira can't keep up with the pack ahead. He must have a little bit of damage or something, although that's the comms name. And there we go. So Domi through. Domi through on Ford. So sorry, apologies for going back the field there. Kind of forgot about that DRS zone then. So I won't do that again. We will see GeForce Ford in the pits this lap. He's starting to struggle there. You can see the pace differential already. Domi, a little gap is pulled already, and there he is. He's in the pits. Here's GeForce Ford. So will he go on hard tyres? He pits at the end of lap 6, end of lap 5 actually, and it looks like it's going to be hard tyres for Mercedes driver. So out he comes. He's going to be the only driver on that strategy, and so GeForce Crichton with a 1.5 second lead now over Domi. Dario just about out of DRS there as well. Sets a purple first sector, because Dario is definitely in DRS. I love this camera angle. I wish there was an option where you could select chopper cam, because it's really awesome to watch them in that view. And we go back to it. Come through this tight section across the Anderson Bridge. It's really narrow piece of track there, really close to the wall. On the right on entry to the hairpin, across the bridge, over the water. And Domi, such as his pace, has closed that gap on Crichton already. He's caught up 4/10 on this lap as Domi, so he's looking very pacey. He wants his 4th win in a row. Dario with the quickest lap of the race so far. That's a 38.8. Is Domi going to be in DRS already? See there. Oh, I think he's got it. With the detection zone just there. Yeah, he does have it, as you can see in his telemetry on the right there. So he's going to have DRS already. So Crichton's lead did not even last, or his gap, sorry, didn't last even a lap. Such is Domi's pace. But catching him is one thing, and passing him is a whole another story. Now, we will have DRS assistance, of course, and battery to use, but it's so hard to pull a gap once you've done the overtake, unless you absolutely rapid, because the driver behind will have DRS as well and can save battery, although it's not really as powerful at this track, that strategy, compared to others, where you can kind of sit behind a car and just charge your battery and wait for an opportunity to overtake. Singapore being a street track, high downforce, it's more about your pace, your raw speed, and there's our first penalty of the Grand Prix, and that's Will in the McLaren, only running P9. Yeah, it's up 3 seconds. And who's in the pits? That's Triton. Is he going to go 2-stop? It's pitted lap 8. He's going to go mediums already. He's gone super early if he's going to go hard. I'm very interested to see what he goes. So he has gone hard. So quite early for the hard tyre. Usually it's around lap 11. Is what the game says for the medium soft strap. So lap 8, it's quite early, 3 laps early. Is he going to come out in front of Ford? There we go. So he does come out ahead of his teammate, despite his teammate pitting a lot earlier. So these two probably going to help each other along, you would think. Ford does have DRS though, so that's good for him. He can try and stick with his teammate for this evening. Black Mercedes looking very nice under the lights here at Singapore. Not really sure about the new livery, to be honest. I think it tries to do a little bit too much. I think I'm probably better off sticking to something similar to this livery. Not sure anyone really likes the AMG logos on the back, and the not sure about the silver and red as well. It's almost like 2 liveries meshed into one, but it's my personal opinion anyway. But yeah, might look good on track. You never know. Domi leads, and we've completed 8 laps here on lap 9. Dario in tow, Timon as well, Lars P4. So AlphaTauri looking strong, looking to bounce back from their nightmare that was the Belgian Grand Prix. As I said earlier, double DNF for them before turn 4. I think it was actually Timon that retired before they even got to Eau Rouge, and I think Lars crashed out at the top of Radion on first lap. That is a run wide there. You won't want to do that too many times. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Ferreira's pace is, whether he's holding up some of these guys, but he's on mediums. It seems odd that he's 5 seconds behind Lars. I know he's got great pace. I just wonder if the Renault has a little bit of wing damage. Because Will and Ace definitely getting held up there. And we got Duncan as well, fill-in driver Joey on the hard. So these guys, the race will come to them a little bit later when they're on the quicker tyre to the rest of the field. We've got Alex and Rage, both RS2 drivers, and we've got Ascom. Oh, Ascom's crashed. I thought he might have pitted. But yeah, look, damage? Being possibly damaged. You might see him in the pits this lap. And do we have a pass there? Will as well. What's happened to Will? So 2 cars this lap. has he redressed their Will? Is that what's happened? Has Will slowed up for Asacom, or are these guys going to pit? They're both going to pit, so I think both a little bit of damage there, possibly. Oh, and Asacom sped into the pit lane. I think he might have been hit by Will there, actually, and Will's retired. And more or less ruined Asacom's race as well with that penalty, so not great form there for Will, must be said. Anyway, I'm going to push on. Domi's leading. And it is a little bit of a disappointing turnout for this one, but a lot of the drivers that were absent today did have legitimate reasons and gave us fair notice, so props to them. I think it's just a bit of a bad week in terms of attendance, or like some drivers not being available all in the same week. So we had a couple that had to work, another one had another race to attend. Yeah, but what can you do? We still got a decent sized grid, so, and plenty of good races on the track, so that's all that matters. We hope those guys can be back with us next week for the Italian Grand Prix. Always a cracking race at the Italian Grand Prix. Bit of a DRS train slipstream fest, but never ceases to bring drama. Never really seen a boring Grand Prix. We've got a couple of drivers in the pits now. Like I said, lap 11 for the medium to hard straight, and that's exactly what we're seeing here with Dario and Timon both in the pits. So Dario came in first, and actually got Pereira in as well. Is he going to have a wing change? No. So no damage for the Renault, as I suspected he might do. So he just lost that DRS early on, and then didn't really keep up with the guys in front, unfortunately. Now the pits now. Beautiful overhead shot. Oh, it's gone. Yeah, apparently there was a little bit of an incident, so I was just reading in the chat there, between Will and Asacom. Apparently Asacom collided with Will, apparently, and put both of them in the wall. So always Lars picks up a penalty, but Domi's in the pits, and Lars should be in the pits as well. Lars, I think he must have picked up that penalty entering the pit lane, so that could come back to haunt him, and Ryan's got a penalty as well. No, he got the first one. Quite sure where Joey is today. He's usually on the grid, but at least we got Ryan. Rage with the other penalty. Oh, we've got a glitch for him. This is going to be very tight. I want to see where Domi comes out. Can we ride on board, please? Oh, he's coming out behind Dario. This is going to be very interesting as the lap drivers start to get in the way. So Ford is actually ahead of Dario. And then we got Rage, a reserve driver, and then Crichton. So Crichton has effective race lead at this point. So if Domi wants to get his fourth Grand Prix victory of the, fourth Grand Prix victory in a row, end of the season, he'll need to do some overtaking. So Dario's actually undercutted Domi as well. So that's really, really interesting. So, yeah. And Rage and Ford are side by side. Let's ride on board with Dario, because he's got the box seat, and Domi. So Dario and Ford both get through on Rage, and Domi's still stuck behind, so he won't want to hang it about. He'll need to clear the Red Bull as soon as possible. He does put the wall there. He's having a look. Not really a passing opportunity until the pit straight. This must be a little bit frustrating for the Haas driver, but this is the nature of Singapore Grand Prix. You get drivers on all different strategies, and Rage definitely holding up the Haas driver as it is at the moment. And look at that. Unable to get past on the pit straight. He'll have to wait until the next DRS zone. Or when Rage lets him go. Very charitable of the reserve driver there, so don't really get to see an overtake, but and it looks like Timon's getting past as well, so good to see him not really hold up those guys too much. What about Lars? Lars needs to get through as well. He's gone for the lunge, has Lars. And Rage actually making it a bit more difficult for the AlphaTauri driver. That's some good racing though by the two of them. Nice and clean side by side through a difficult section of track to do so. So really well done. Horrible glitch on the Red Bull, unfortunately. But Crichton has the effective race lead here. 13 laps into the 31 lap Grand Prix. Oh, and that was Pato getting all kinds of swirly out of exit of the corner there. And who's this? Oh, was Dario's pushing really hard to get past the board. This is for position, of course. This is all for position forward. Big slide there as well. Pato hasn't pitted as yet. Either is Duncan and Ryan. This is holding up Dario and Tommy a whole lot. We'll go on board with Dario because he might get past Alex as well. I would expect Ford will pretty easily have a look. Yeah, Pato, is he going to hold up his teammate? Does a little bit. Gets through. What about Domi? Is Domi going to get through? Yeah, on the inside. Oh, and is that Timon? It is! So Timon gets past Domi. That's huge. What an opportunistic overtake there. As Domi was going for the overtake on Pato on the inside, and that left the door open for Timon, and who duly obliged taking that. And oh, a little bit of contact there as Lars tries to go around the outside. A little bit more contact. And Lars now, side by side, he's going to be inside for the next corner. So Domi dropping like a stone, and he's into the wall. That's a bit disappointing to see that shoved into the wall like that, but did choose to hang it around the outside there. Hopefully he hasn't taken too much damage on the Haas. But that's all fair racing as far as I could see. They were all side by side, leaving each other room. Maybe that exit there where Domi got squeezed is a little bit questionable. Looks like Domi's going to have an absolute mountain to climb now if he wants to win his 4th Grand Prix in a row. Running P9 as it is, which is effective P7. He's got to pass 6 drivers. He's weaving. Is Alex going to get out of the way from him now? Seems like the damage hasn't really affected him too bad. Let's see if Alex gets out of the way. Ooh, he's waving. He doesn't want to get out of the way. Alex. He's going to have to do it in the DRS straight, or say dive bombing there. Alex kind of left the door open. There, you're going to have an easy overtake there. But Domi finally gets past Alex. He lost 2 positions to the AlphaTauris in doing so. squeeze into the wall. I'm not quite sure what, if any, damage he got in that. Look at all the lock-up marks into that corner. So 1.4 seconds is the gap from Domi to Lars. He's closing that, so it doesn't look too badly affected. Oh, Ryan speeding in the pit lane, comes into pit, so Dario with the quickest lap of the Grand Prix. He's clear G-Force forward as well. Who misses out on DRS there, so he's going to have to use his overtake to try and get back in it with G-Force forward. I wonder where Swaggy is today. I'm not quite sure why G-Force Swaggy is in racing. He was really rapid around Singapore, so it would have been good to see him on the grid. He'd definitely be up in this fight for the lead. Ford's going to be under all kinds of pressure from Timon and Lars. Of course, has the oldest. Let's have a look at the. Let's just have a look at the penalties really quickly. So with Dario, 3 seconds. That's going to be huge at the end of the Grand Prix. Lars with 3 seconds, Pato with 3 seconds, Rage with 3 seconds, Ascom 5 seconds. That was from being hit in the rear from the wheel into the pits. And Ryan with 8 seconds, speeding the pit lane and a track extending. We'll look at tyres. You can see there as Ferreira gets past Rage. So a little battle there. And Duncan's into the pits. Reserve driver. So we'll see where he comes out. Dario with fast lap of the Grand Prix. Ashton. Brighton. Duncan's dropping down the order there. Domi with fast lap of Grand Prix. Looks like he doesn't have any damage if he's setting quickest lap time. So that's good news for Domi. And probably good news for us as well, because he'll be a man on a mission after all those overtakes and losing out. As Duncan comes out in P11, so not too bad. He can probably catch up and pass a few guys on those fresh mediums. Crichton, 1.9 second lead. It's going to be a Mercedes v Ferrari for the win of the Grand Prix. Crichton, critical that he avoids a penalty as well, because Dario does have that 3 seconds. Ford has really dropped off Dario. 1.3 seconds in a couple of laps, so he'll be holding up this train of Tim and Lars and Tommy. So AlphaTauris will be very keen to get through, as will the Haas. See if they can make it happen this time. Dario is nearly in DRS range of Crichton as well. Not on the pit straight, so Timon still hunting down Ford, or right on board. A big lock up there, still locking up on the exit there. Such was his momentum through turn 3 and 4 with a 3 second time penalty. That's going to cost him, I think. Oh, and Timon has no ERS, 0%, so he's not going to be able to make an overtake. What about his teammate? No, so they're still stuck behind Ford. And Zombie going to have to bide his time as well. He's got plenty of ERS, whereas those ahead of him really don't. So, but track position is king around Singapore. Dario's in DRS now of G-Force Crichton for the lead of the Grand Prix. You can see he's about to open it up. There it is. So the Ferrari driver's caught Crichton quite rapidly. So this is going to be a battle for the lead. There's still 13 laps left in the Grand Prix as well, so It's time for Dario to get past Crichton if he can, and then he'll need to build at least a 3-second lead to win the Grand Prix. It's going to be a tall order, especially once he clears Crichton, because Crichton, if he sticks with him in the DRS, he'll have more energy to use it as well. 17%, 16%, they're very similar on ERS actually. So Crichton will have some to defend with. We're going to ride on board with Dario in the DRS zone, see if he can get past the Mercedes. Opens up DRS there. In overtake already. He's only got 9% though. Looks like he's going to be able to get past fairly easily. Down inside. Oh, a little bump. There's a little bump into the wall there. I wonder if that put Crichton into the wall though. Looks like his nose is clean, but wow, not a lot of space left there for the Mercedes, it must be said. Plenty of room on the inside for Dario, and that is Ferreira getting past Pato as well. Appreciate those guys filling in. Not Ferreira, just not filling in, of course, but Pato, Rage, and Duncan, and Ace as well is filling in this evening. Crichton will absolutely need to stay attached to Dario. Can't lose that DRS. If he gets out of DRS, I think Dario is going to gap him with that 3 seconds, judging by how quickly he caught him. And it's not just the pace differential, it's you can see there the tyre difference. So Dario's got 3 lap fresher hard tyre, so he's going to have a actually pretty significant grip advantage the longer this Grand Prix goes on, or every lap really. Duncan bangs in the fast lap of the Grand Prix at 37.5, and we're going to yellow flag, and that is, I was going to say it is Duncan, but it's not, it's Brian, so hopefully he gets out of the wall. It'd be great if he could and not cause a safety car. That would be great. Crichton still hanging on there, crucially. Pato's in the pits now. So it was quite interesting that Crichton didn't put up too much of a fight to Dario when he overtook him. Maybe knew DRS, power of the DRS, or maybe just content to sit behind the Ferrari as well, knowing he does have a penalty. Ryan has retired in safety car. Oh my goodness! And that is why this is going to change the Grand Prix, as Ryan is out. It's a huge crash. Huge crash. That is terminal damage for the Racing Point. So this is a full safety car, and I think it was just Pato that just pitted, unfortunately. So he just missed out on a free pit stop. Quite unhappy about that. Is anyone going to pit? Crichton. Crichton pits. Is he going to go mediums? Yes, he is. No, he's going to get held, is he? No. And double stacked at Mercedes, because Ford is in as well. Dario stays out, as does Lars. I think that's going to be a mistake for those guys, especially with the penalties they have. They're going to have track position, but those mediums are going to be very quick. Very unfortunate about the safety car. Well, it's going to be quite a good race as Domi's pitted. Ace has gone for the softs. Very aggressive. Extremely aggressive strategy there from the RS2 race winner. I'm not sure the softs will actually make it that far, so they've still got to do 10 laps. Maybe 2 or 3 laps of those will be under safety car, but even still, 7 laps on the soft tyres. He's going to be rapid for the first few laps, and then it's going to fall away very quickly for him. It could unravel as well, so it'll be very interesting. Safety car has spiced this race up, there's no doubt, but we're on for a good race as it was anyway. I would have liked to have seen if Crichton could have stuck with Dario in his DRS, or whether Dario could have gapped him and pulled away. Well, I guess we'll never know now. But have Dario and Lars made the wrong decision here not to pit? And Dario's actually pitting now, or is he? I'm not sure what's going on. Something's happened to Dario. Did he spin? What's going on? Dario dropped positions. He was leading the Grand Prix. Is he going to pit now? He's going to pit. Not sure what happened. That is bizarre. He's going to go soft. Maybe that's what happened to him. He was adjusting his tyre strap to get on the soft. Well, I mean, he really had no choice because he missed the opportunity to box when the safety car came out. He would have lost a lot of positions being on those hard tyres, and which is, I think, exactly what's going to happen to Lars, unfortunately. But he does have track position. Duncan's in a very good position. All that old medium, did he? Quite difficult to pass. He's got an awful revving glitch with him, unfortunately. This game is just, well, very frustrating at times with all the glitches. At least we didn't have a lobby glitch, which is good to see. We see the safety car in this lap, and is Lars going to wait until the last lap of the safety car here before pitting? I think it'll be in this lap because, as you can see on the mini-map there, all the cars are now caught up to the safety car. They're all in this train. They're all trying to, yeah, I think the safety car's in because they're all, yes, there it is, confirmation, safety car's in. They all started weaving their tyres, so they might have got the call. Pardon me. They might have got that call slightly before we did. I think Lars is going to get eaten up here. Duncan should be pretty straightforward overtake for him. Then we've got Crichton on fresh mediums, as is Dommy, who's back into a very good position. Ace on softs. It's going to be very quick. Probably for the next 3 or 4 laps. Ford as well has a penalty rage in a good spot. Timmon's lost out. He must have got held badly in the pits. Here we go though. We'll go back to the front as Lars leads him through. Oh, and there's penalties galore. And I'm not sure what's happened. Ace is going to move down the inside there of Ford. No, he doesn't get it done. Is Rage is going to spin into the wall. It was a bit ambitious to try and look up the inside there, it must be said. No DRS yet, so we'll see if Duncan can get the move done on with DRS, just without the horrible revving glitch. Oh, and look at that, it's Crichton. Crichton, double overtake, that's crazy. And Lars has dropped heaps. I told you to get eaten up on those old hards. He's just unfortunately made the wrong call to stay out on track. Ace is going to absolutely eat him up there. He does dive bomb him at the hairpin. Those softs with so much grip compared to to the old hard. He's on Pereira behind him, and Pato's let Dario by. Essentially, Dario's on the soft as well, so he'll be looking to push really hard. 7 laps left. I'm not sure the softs are going to make it that far, but Crichton might be on for his first victory of the season here. He's already, I was going to say, gapped Duncan by a second, but not quite. It is nearly a second. DRS is not enabled yet, so not relevant, as it were. Domi is the one I think he's got to worry about. I think Domi's probably going to get past Duncan. This has been an absolutely breathtaking Grand Prix. I was a bit disappointed with the safety car initially, but this has brought it to life. Essentially made it a sprint. Is Domi going to get past Duncan here? He is. So it's going to be Crichton versus Domi for the Grand Prix win, I think. Let's ride on board with Domi. Let's just see how much he can catch up. Purple second sector there. So late under brakes every corner. It's incredible. If I tried to do this, I'd end up in the wall, I swear. Such a gifted driver. Really dancing on the edge of grip there, as you can see. Uses overtake just briefly before the turn 22, and there it is, the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, 35.7. That's some people's qualifying time. And on the medium tyres as well. The pace is hot right now. Needs to have gapped the rest, because Duncan's still P3, 1.7 seconds behind these two, so it is Crichton versus Domi for the win. 6 laps left. Lots of locking up from these two. I know Crichton especially locks up quite a bit in his driving style. Domi seems to be as well. This Grand Prix I haven't really noticed it before, but I feel like this game doesn't really punish lockups at all. You can lock up pretty inconsequentially. Doesn't really matter too much. Might mean you lose some braking grip. Just locking up again there, whereas like I feel like if they lock up in real life going into a corner like that, they'd end up in the barrier. So it is an arcade game, not a sim, so probably why. But you can see Tommy's right on the back of G-Force right now. Little downshift there into the last corner. He uses 50 briefly. DRS is enabled, of course, so I think this is probably going to be a pass for the lead coming up on the DRS section. In a way, the safety car really saved on his race, because he had a mountain decline to get back on the podium. Crichton got a really good exit there. He needs to focus on that for the rest of the Grand Prix to keep Domi behind. And Ford's actually catching up. So Ford's got past Duncan, and Ford's caught up to the back of Domi. You can see there. So the other Mercedes might also be in with a chance of a victory here. They've all got penalties now as well. I didn't notice that. Let's have a look at the... always go to the wrong thing. Penalties, there we go. So all 3 seconds, the top 3. Then we got Duncan clean. So if he can stick within 3 seconds of Ford, he might snag a podium. We've got Ace 3 seconds, Dario 3 seconds as well. Dario's race is really unravelled, unfortunately. I'm not quite sure what happened to him under safety car when he spun and lost all those positions has really killed his race a little bit. His damage limitation for him now. Timon as well. He is penalty less at the moment, but similar situation. He got really hard done by in the safety car when it came out. I think he got held really badly in the pits. Anyway, we'll go back to tyres. Right on board with Tommy. Once again, see if he can get the move done on Crichton. He's a bit closer this lap. He's not actually using overtake, so just using the ERS. Maybe wise to it. Thinking he might save up his battery a little bit. He doesn't want to give Crichton the opportunity to get back past. But Crichton picking up that penalty could mean he actually loses the race if he gets overtaken. I'm not quite sure when that happened. I did miss it when he picked that penalty up. Oh, and G-Force Ford another penalty there, so that's 6 seconds for him. So Duncan might be on the podium. He still needs to keep within 6 seconds. He should be able to do that pretty well, but he might even be on for the win. He's only 2.7 behind, 7 seconds behind. So if these three start battling, Duncan might steal it. He's on older mediums though, unfortunately. Tommy this lap. Is he going to go for it? Or is he going to sit behind for another lap? Closer and closer every lap. He's using a little bit of overtake there. Try and get closer. Yeah, he didn't get a good exit. A little bit oversteer and slidey as you can see, but 30% ERS, whereas Crichton's only got 10%, so Mercedes needs to start saving a little bit to defend with. There's only 3 laps left. Lars gets past. Oh, and what's happened to Lars? Or was it Asicom? Asicom's crashed. Sorry, I thought it was Lars for a second, but Lars and Pato both got through. Anyway, go back to the front. And sorry, Tommy. Oh my god, I missed it. How have I missed it? Tommy has taken the lead from Crichton. Oh, I did not expect that. That always happens to me. I'm so sorry. Anyway, that's just a lesson not to take your eyes off a lead battle like this. So we'll stick with it unless something dramatic happens down the field. But, you know, Asicom did crash, so I felt like I had to go and check out what happened. And Dommy's putting the hammer down, nearly 9 tenths. But Crichton, he's got to stick with him. Let's see if he can do it. He's done it. He's stuck with Dommy into the DRS. He's going to have it. So he needs to not use overtake here, and he's using it. He needs to save it up. I think. That's what I'd be doing anyway. Just using the DRS to pull you along a bit. Saving your battery. Duncan, 3.8 seconds back. He's managed to stick it in DRS again, but Dommy, so quick. Even despite that DRS. Lars, another penalty. Is it going to go over a second? It is. As they go under the bridge, the grandstand, and Crichton is out of DRS, and that could be all she wrote. Oh, it's so close. 1 second, he needs to use everything he's got to get back in that DRS. He doesn't have much. He's got 5% DRS. No, he hasn't done it. So Ford might be able to overtake him now. Ford does have 6 seconds, but Tommy is just so rapid. He's pulled away from the Mercedes already. 1.3 seconds. Just the 2 laps to go here. Duncan 4.7 seconds back from Ford, kind of in a world of his own. And as I suspected, the soft runners didn't really play a part. That tyre doesn't really. Thank you for subscribing, Loic. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, the soft tyres, I was saying, it doesn't last more than like 5 or 6 laps, even when fresh. So I think it was probably a bad choice from those guys going on a soft. They might not have had another medium, though. I'm not quite sure if some of these guys went. No, they all would have went balanced, so they would have had another set of mediums. They would have just chose to go softs. So we're on the last lap of the Singapore Grand Prix now, and BSR Domi can make it 4 Grand Prix wins in a row. The safety car somewhat resurrected his race. He was looking for all money like he was not going to win. Down in P7 on old hard tyres. Had a lot of work to do to get back on the podium, but yeah, the safety car really saved his bacon. He's been able to make amends and overtake and get to the front. Meta Lars especially will be ruining his choice to stay out on the hard tyres when the safety car came out. When everyone else boxed, he was the only one to stay out. He got swallowed up. And there we go. We've got past there as Ferreira gets past Dario. So that is how slow the soft tyres are now, as Ascon bangs in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That's a bonus point for him. Here we go. BSR Domi shows his dominance once again. This man cannot be stopped at the moment in RS1. He did get lucky this evening, but BSR Domi wins the Singapore Grand Prix after such an eventful one, and Crichton comes home P2, Ford P3, but is Duncan going to steal a podium? He does, by, just under 0.2 of a second to Ford. Ford would be very disappointed with that. So the 2 reserve drivers. Then we got Ace and Ferreira were battling at the end, and Ferreira only just missed out on that P5. So Ace gets it. And then Dario, what could have been for him as well. Tim and Lars, the AlphaTaris were looking so strong before the safety car. Oof. Lars comes home P10. Ascom will come home P11 with the fastest lap. Rage will hopefully finish the race as well. So yeah, what can I say? Fantastic drive from Domi. Ascom sends it across the line for P11. Just waiting for Rage. He's still got the whole of the third sector to go. A couple of really good debutante drives today from Duncan and Ford. Yeah, pity about Ryan and Will. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Anyway. And as I said earlier, it was just a bit of a coincidence. We had so many drivers. Coincidence that we had so many drivers away this week. Unfortunately, guys did give us plenty of notice even yesterday. So earlier in the week. So yeah, just it was still good to get 14 on the grid, given how many regular drivers were down today. So hopefully those guys are back for the Italian Grand Prix next week, as I said. Hopefully Rage finishes the Grand Prix anytime soon. That'd be great. But Domi, victory number 4 in a row for the Haas driver. Just so fast. So fast. Making other very quick drivers look quite second rate indeed. Such as his pace is really impressive. 4th victory in a row. First podium for Crichton, P2, and PSR Duncan. Debut podium for him. G-Force Ford, very unlucky to miss out. Solid drive from him as well. Might have been ruining that he actually qualified on the softs, whereas everyone else went on the medium. So yeah, didn't matter too much in the end with the safety car. Everyone boxed for medium tyres anyway. Alright, and here's our finishing order. So Domi with a victory. G-Force Crichton P2, Duncan P3, G-Force Ford P4, Ivar Ace P5, great drive from him. WSO Ferreira P6, Dario probably going to be disappointed with P7, Tim and likewise with P8. Alex Pato in the top 10, P9, very nice from him. Lars, what can I say? I think he bottled that decision not to pit under the safety car. He'd probably be very disappointed with that. Asacom P11 with fastest lap, Rage P12. And we had Anasio Ryan and PR1 Will in the DNF column. Have a look at some incidents as well. I'm not quite sure if there's anything significant. Maybe just some warnings. 5-second time penalty from Asacom. That was for speeding in the pit lane. Likewise with Ryan. Nothing too dramatic there. But that has been the Singapore Grand Prix. What a dramatic Grand Prix it was as well. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week for round 6, the Temple of Speed, Monza. Join us then. We look forward to it. See you later.